Thanks for listening to SoundWow'd, a music lovers podcast. Today in the show, we're interviewing HXNS. Our opening song is his remix of Crazy. Enjoy. Welcome to SoundWow'd, a podcast for artists by artists. I'm your host, Tanner Mead. I've got my co-host on the line, Jerron Cosby.
How you doing, guys? So basically what this podcast is about is two music lovers on the hunt to find the new and upcoming stars of SoundCloud. Each week we have new guests and we preview their music. We take the time out to ask them questions about particular songs, and we just get to know them more as an artist.
Today's guest is a seasoned SoundCloud veteran with over 14,000 followers. His work has received very special attention from the SoundCloud Nation for its rhythmically driven hip-hop and R&B tracks. Hans, otherwise known as HXNS.
Hey, what up?
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Every episode we start with a piece by our guest artist, and today what you heard was his remix of Crazy. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, that was a track I made I was just fooling around, and then I had the chords and everything, so I always start with the chords, and then afterwards, I'm like, you know what, Beyonce's acapella would be dope in this. I just added it, and honestly, I was going to delete it, but then I checked back in like an hour, and people were messing with it, so I actually went back and fixed everything.
Nice.
So, tell us about your background. Where'd you grow up?
I was born in the Philippines, but I moved here to California, Bay Area, a shout out, when I was like a little baby, 6 months old. So I've basically been born and raised in the San Francisco Bay Area my whole life.
Nice. When did you say your passion for music developed?
I've always had a thing for it, because I remember as a kid, I used to just be humming like NSYNC songs and like Usher and whatever. And, like, when Kanye dropped, I was like, yo, this is sick. And I remember there was this website called Jam Glue, maybe back in, 2005. And you could, like, make mashups and stuff with, like, instrumentals and acapellas. So I was on that when I was, like, in 4th grade, maybe, like, 11 years old. And then I showed my family members, and they were all like, yo, this is dope. And then my sister was like, you know what, you should be a music producer when you grow up. And I guess ever since then, I was like, yeah, I guess I could be. I like music, so.
Was music always a part of your family?
Because my siblings, my older brother, my older sister, they always used to play really good music around me. So I was kind of into it my whole life, basically.
Nice. Would you say that, coming from the Philippines, did that have any direct influence on your music today? Have you ever went back and checked out the music of the Philippines and saw how you can incorporate it into what you do now?
I actually did go back in my freshman year of high school a couple years ago, and I don't know, I actually didn't really explore the music scene there, but if I go back again, I would definitely love to play a show and find out more about the local music there, traditional music.
Nice.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about your creative process? What motivates you in your producing, and what inspires you?
Well, man, this is a hard one because I don't even know my own creative process. My friends always ask me, and I'm just like, man, I don't really know what I do. But I'm really influenced by now at least, I'm influenced by soul, lots of jazz, anything with some good soul in it, hip hop, and I try to take the chords from that and mix it with the future beat type of thing. Try to keep it progressive, but also make it sound timeless. So I just try to make something sound good. I always start with the chords, because if I start with drums, it never goes anywhere. And then after that, it's just, I kind of black out. I just let my brain do its work. And in the end, I get a track.
So it's kind of like more of a spontaneous process than a structured process?
Definitely, because actually a lot of the tracks that I have on my SoundCloud, probably most of them, if not all, are like tracks that I made in a very short amount of time. Because every time I try to work on something for like probably more than a week, it just like, it doesn't go anywhere.
That's so interesting that
Yeah.
something that you just come right off the cuff. Because your music's, I mean, getting hundreds of thousands of views, and
Yeah.
you know, that's just crazy that that your instincts kind of show through SoundCloud.
Yeah, I just feel like, because those tracks that I choose to put on my SoundCloud, those are like the most organically produced, you know what I mean?
Mm.
It's not like I really planned it out or anything like that. It's like those just came to me in the moment. Like Chill With Me, that one is like probably my most popular track, like over 300,000 views or whatever. And like honestly, I just made that when I went to like this forest area at my university, UC Davis, because I go there to school right now. And I just zoned out in the nature for like an hour, and like I came up with that.
You know, I think it's really interesting. We're starting to see a pattern with the people that we've interviewed so far, just about their creative process and it being a lot more spontaneous rather than it being about actual musical knowledge. Do you have any musical training or background, or are most of your tracks done just spontaneously?
No, I have no knowledge of music theory or anything like that, to be honest. Actually, it's funny because recently I just found out, like, you know, the notes on the piano, like where it is. 'Cause before that, I was like, oh, where's C at? But now, yeah. I mean, like, I could find patterns and stuff with the chords. Like, I definitely know how to compose. But as far as, like, actual music theory, you know, I just make what sounds good to me.
Do you think, would you say that music theory to you is kind of obsolete?
Not obsolete, but I feel like in this day and age, it's not as necessary because programs, you know, like Ableton and FL Studio, whatever you may use, basically computers have like changed the way people make music. It's so much more easy to like pick it up and just start making music, because, you know, before you'd have to like know music theory and all that, but, you know, technology has made it really easier, in my opinion. But you know what? Music theory is always like, it's always a plus to know. I'm actually taking a couple of music classes, so yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So I know me personally, when I'm doing any arranger, composing myself, I'm coming from a place where I don't have much musical background either, or much music theory knowledge, so I do a lot of my things by ear too. I just think that it's a really interesting process that people have to go through when it's a lot more spontaneous, but I also feel like it gives it a more organic sound that way.
It really does, though, because it's coming from a really natural place, instead of like, oh, this chord has to fit in with this one, and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. So with that being said, when you're listening to a song, say on the radio, what are you listening for? What makes it a good song to you?
Really good chord progression. Lyrics usually come last to me, but if it's catchy, you know, you can't deny it's catchy. Some good bass lines, you know, just, I don't know, like, I'm really attracted to jazz chords, so that might be like my bias, but I notice a lot of radio songs are starting to like steer towards that direction now, which is really dope. Like, even I enjoy listening to the radio sometimes, because, you know, the songs aren't even half bad, to be honest. They're pretty good if you just listen to it.
So is that where you see music going, kind of the jazzier, more R&B chords?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I'm hearing a lot of that now in a lot of genres, to be honest. Not even just hip-hop and R&B, but EDM, electronic, all that.
Interesting. Now, I know you said that it's really difficult when you try to explain it to your friends, but how do you think you would describe your music to other people?
it's honestly just a culmination of all my favorite genres, all my favorite artists and influencers. So hip hop, R&B, electronic, soul, jazz, all that. And I'm really influenced by Tyler the Creator, Toro, Kanye. Those are probably my top three of all time. And just I'm really inspired by pretty much anything: visuals, art, nature, and I just try to put all of those together, and then my music is a reflection of all that.
So what do you hope people get out of your music?
I don't know, man. People like to turn up to it. I'm not even old enough to get into clubs, so it's like I haven't even turned up to my own music. But if you want to dance to it, cool. If you want to bob your head, that's fine. As long as you like it, it's good, I do this for myself, so I make music I want to hear, and if other people want to hear it, it's a plus too. And I'm really glad that people mess with it, because honestly, I never asked for any of this to happen. It just did.
Has anyone ever come to you and tried to sway your music style? Because you just said, you make music for yourself. Has anyone ever tried to persuade you to do music for others in that kind of sense?
I guess, but it wasn't too pushy. Maybe they were just sometimes friends are like, oh, maybe you should do a remix of this or try to do this type of genre. But I don't think they mean to push me into one direction like that, because they know that I want to do, or I'm gonna do what I want to do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty open to recommendations and all that. So because I'm down to make any type of music. I'm not just bound by one genre or nothing. If it's good, it's good.
That's good. Now, what would you say are some of your dream collabs?
Ooh, dream collabs. Can artists range to higher levels of music, not just SoundCloud scenes?
Yeah,
of course.
Definitely Tyler. Definitely Toro y Moi. Definitely Kanye. Who else would I like to collab with? I already collabed with him, but Rom is dope. Monte Booker, I've been really messing with him recently. And man, I can't even think of anything else, to be honest. Those are the big ones right now, because my opinions always change.
Yeah.
Depends how I'm feeling, but that's my list today.
I'm sure it changes a lot.
Yeah, it does.
As you go along.
Oh, and Esta too, because I've been following that dude forever, and he's one of the main reasons why I started making music as well.
All right, so we're going to take a small break. We're going to listen to your second song, Work, and when we get back, we'll talk a little bit about that. So that was Work by HXNS. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your process for that song?
Well, I made that one almost 2 years ago, and that was still when I was pretty low-key unknown. That was my first song to actually blow up like that. The dudes from Selection found it, and I was I woke up to a bunch of emails and messages And I was like, okay, this is crazy now. It's starting to get a little crazy. But what did I do for that song? I think I sampled some Vox from Tori Moa's remix of a Tyler song, and then those are like the oohs and ahs that you hear. And I think when I made this song, I was starting to make more of like the future beat electronic type of songs. I was just trying something new. So, because prior to that, I just made like, like repetitive boom bap beats and stuff like that. So this was all new to me, and I was just experimenting with the chords and everything. And I made a banger, I guess. I don't really know.
So how was that feeling of waking up to all those emails and kind of being caught off guard like that?
It was crazy because I think like the day before I was just talking to like my friends about how like, because this is when I had just started college. This is like the first like month or two, and I was just so like, I don't know, depressed or sad or something. I was like not making any friends. I was like not really happy where I was in life, and then that happened, and I was like, oh wow, it's like some higher being, higher power, like answered my, request, and then it was really just a big push for me to keep on doing what I was doing,
How would you describe your definition of success? I noticed you said that you feel like this type of success really came at the right time. How would you describe a broader sense of success? Where do you see yourself going in a couple of years?
Well, I feel like my definition of success has changed as I've grown musically. Because, as you grow, more people listen to you, and it's like your goals get bigger. So your meaning of success gets bigger. And right now, success just means being able to travel across the country or the world, play music, make music with my friends that I've met, and basically make a sustainable living off of doing what I love, which is music.
Great. So that kind of brings us into our listener question. Every week we're going to have one of our fans. We're going to have them email in questions, and then we'll pick one to ask to our guest artist. So today our question comes from D. Rivera, and he writes, "Hey Hans, big fan. I was wondering, do you ever perform live? If not, are you trying to tour with your stuff in the future?"
I have never played a show, actually. And I've been offered, but, like, I've always been in school. Like, for some reason, people always want to book me right when I have, like, finals or something crazy like that. So I'm like, I would
Always
love to
the
take
worst
it.
time.
Yeah, and it's like dope-ass clubs in SF too. So I'm just like, man, I wish I could take this. But also, I have low-key stage fright. So I kind of got to get over that. But in the future, I definitely want to start playing shows. Definitely.
So how is that kind of, how do you balance college and your music?
It took me a while to get used to it. Because my first year of college, when I started blowing up and stuff, I started to focus more on music, and my grades fell. And then as I entered my second year, I was like, I'm paying for school, so I don't want to mess up. And it's, it's low-key a backup plan if music doesn't work out, So then I started to focus on, or I just tried to figure out how school and music could be balanced, which led to me kind of taking a hiatus off of music for a while. But I think now I have it figured out for sure. It's all about time management, really.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask. Yeah, what's your key to balancing?
I kind of had a routine for a while, like go to class, come home, make music, go to the gym, etc. But now I just know what I should prioritize first. Say if I have like a big thing for school going on, then I'll focus more on that. But if nothing's going on, then I'm pretty much making a lot of music in my spare time.
Now, as an artist, I know that a lot of people seem to run into this issue sometimes. Is there ever a time when you're really busy, or you may be focusing on something else, and then you get an idea for a song, and then you have no way to write it down or keep it in your memory bank?
Oh, dude, yes. Like, this happens all the time. I always get like the best ideas when I'm in class or something. But if I don't have my laptop on me, I kind of just rush home. Like for study break, my flip of Charles Gambino, I got that idea when I was on the bus, so I kind of like booked it home, made that in like an hour, and try to like just execute the ideas that I had in my head as best as I could, and it worked out. So.
So would you say most of your tracks take you just a couple hours to make, or are some more
Definitely.
strenuous?
I mean, actually arranging and coming up with the chords and everything probably takes like at most 3 hours, and then I have the whole song. The thing that takes longer is mixing.
Do you think that college has any negative effects on your ability to grow as an artist?
I think it all really depends on your perspective on college. 'Cause when I was in my first year, I like really didn't like school. I really didn't want to be there. I just wanted to be doing music full time. But I think now that I've like learned to appreciate both, it's like I could take inspiration from school and all that. So it's not just something that's giving me writer's block. It's not really an obstacle anymore. It's more of like it goes along with music. You know what I mean?
Has it been difficult being able to incorporate everything into your everyday life as far as balancing now? I know that as the years pass in college, things get a little bit more difficult. Do you find it getting more difficult as you get older?
I know soon it is, but you just got to keep riding the wave. You got to keep going. I mean, I really don't want to stop making music. So if you really want to do something, you're gonna find some time to do it, one way or another. So I know things are gonna get crazier too, but you just gotta find some time, find some way to do it. Whatever you love to do.
So do you have any favorite mix or piece that you've done so far?
I really like Crazy. You guys played that earlier. Really love that because the chords in that I think are like amazing. It just feels so weird to brag about my own music, but I really love the chords in that one. Chill With Me is also a favorite just because of, I don't know, I felt really good after I made that. So
Is there anything that hasn't gotten a lot of recognition that you felt like should have gotten more?
I'm not sure actually. I think my track with Masego was pretty dope, but that one was kind of like low key like alternative or like indie or something. I know I tried to go with a really dope, like a really different vibe on that one, and I was surprised that he was even down to sing on that.
Do you find yourself being influenced by genres that you never would have expected to try out?
Oh, for sure. Like house music. I was never really a big fan of like electronic or house or EDM or anything, but got to give credit where it's due. That's part of me too. Like, and I've always liked indie music, so I guess that's kind of finding its way into my music as well.
What are your just since we're on the topic of genre, I'm always curious to know what artists, what your opinion is on pop music.
Okay. Pop music, like I said earlier, I feel like it's getting better. It's on the come up. Maybe it's just a thing that happens when you get older, but I found myself to like really starting to not like necessarily all pop songs, but they're definitely tolerable. I know, like, I definitely don't hate it like some people are like, oh, the radio sucks. Like, the radio's not that bad. They're pretty good. You'll find a lot of similarities with stuff you find on SoundCloud and the radio, to be honest.
Now, keeping to that thought, how do you feel about the genre of rap today? Do you feel like things are moving in a different direction? I know that trap is a little different than it was before.
Yeah. Rap is aight right now. I feel like there's some cats that are really killing the game right now. I feel like everyone's trying to go for that like Lil Yachty vibe, like just having fun, which is cool, to be honest. Like, he just got famous off of having fun. But I don't know, it gets a little tired. But if it's a banger, it's a banger, and like, yeah. I also like how like Chance is kind of bringing back more soul, more gospel into rap.
Yeah.
Like, even influenced like Kanye to like change his album direction and everything. It was really dope. Cause for a while, you know, soul was missing from rap. It was all about like, you know, making club bangers, and it was low key like dark for a minute. But now everyone's, you know, starting to make more happy music, which is dope. Cause I love happy music.
Yeah, I think people are starting to move into a more lyrical direction now. I think they're really starting to tell a story with their lyrics again.
Just becoming, I feel like everyone's also becoming really more focused on musicality, too. Like with the chords and everything. I notice a lot of people are starting to go for more musical instrumentals instead of just like weird electronic sounds and stuff like that, which is dope.
Well, we want to thank you for coming on the show. Before we close out,
for sure, man. Thank you for having me.
Do you have anything that you want to plug? Anything that's coming up? Any projects, shows?
I don't know, cause I feel like I'm always working on a project, but it like never works out. So just keep your eyes out. You never know when you literally never know when I'm gonna drop a project. I never even know when I'm gonna drop a project.
It's like a little surprise.
Yeah, just I'd be dropping some stuff. Might drop something soon. You never know. Just keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah.
Listen to my SoundCloud.
Well, that's great. Yeah, I hope that everyone shares Hans's page, does everything. Where can people follow you?
Twitter @WashingMyHans, HANS, no D in that. SoundCloud, HXNS. That's pretty much it. The basics.
Great. All right.
Cool.
Well, that's all the time we have. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, man. No one ever asked me to do interviews, so this is kind of dope.
Well, they should.
Yeah, they should. Y'all
They
book me for
definitely
more
should.
interviews or something. I'm down to talk about random whatever.
Definitely.
For sure.
All right. Well, I'm Tanner Mead.
And I'm Jerron Cosby. Thank you for listening, and tune in next week for more SoundCloud Hidden Gems.